Thank you all so much for joining us again. Welcome back to Marketing Mondays. It has been a little while, but we're so excited. And today we're going to start with just something that we all feel like can benefit us in no matter what we do, and that's the power of positivity. So today we're going to start with a question. Do you consider yourself a happy person? And would others agree? And maybe even on the spectrum of glass half full, glass half empty, kind of where do you see yourself? This is just a quick self-assessment, and you can keep your answers to yourself, but just think about that, or you can put it in the chat, that's fine. And then can you think of anybody in your professional life that is someone who focuses on the negative or what should have been? Or do you have somebody else maybe that is always excited and positive, and do you find either one of those contagious, whether it's good or bad? And this isn't to be judgmental or critical. I'm just curious how observant we are in our daily lives, because I know we're so busy. And so to be able to self-assess and understand kind of where we are in our day-to-day on the spectrum of positivity. So today we're going to explore a topic that has the potential to transform not just businesses, but also your individual lives. And that's the power of positivity, particularly in your tourism business or destination. With so many of our guests who evaluate our service or offering based on their experiences and those human interactions with you and your team, having that mindset of positivity and overall attitude can really be a deciding factor between whether we're successful or whether we have challenges. And embracing that positivity, or if you consider yourself very positive, maybe creating that balanced mindset and finding ways to share it with others, that's an opportunity to transform your approach to challenges, enhance your leadership strategies, and fine-tune your team. All right, so as you all know, I am PJ Warchansky, and I'm going to be presenting today as one of your hosts for Marketing Mondays. I'm a communication director at Appalachian State University and Uplift's PR manager. And joining me today, as always, is Miss Kara Treadway, our marketing specialist, and the much better half of Marketing Mondays duo. And thank you all for being here and being a part of Uplift. Now, before we get started, I do need y'all to help us with one thing really quickly, and we are brainstorming some ideas for Marketing Monday programming for 2025. So whether you are joining us live or this is being recorded and you're watching it later, you can scan the QR code with your phone as long as it's safe to do so. And it's just a short one-question survey that we need you to fill out as we continue to work through how we're going to evolve Marketing Mondays and Marketing Mastery into 2025. So I'll give you just a moment to scan, to go to that Google form that Kara created for us. There's some options there to try to make it really easy. You can check all that apply, or if there's something that we haven't covered yet or that's not in that list, add it to it so that we can make sure to include it for 2025 Marketing Mondays. All right, so while you're finishing that up, we are going to continue on with today's blueprint. And we're going to start with understanding positive thinking. Then we're going to dive a little bit deeper into the science behind positivity. And then we'll keep evolving positive thinking and how that impacts business success. And then taking that positive mindset into our leadership and how that impacts our employees and our stakeholders. And then making sure that we take time for ourselves and our personal well-being and how that can have such a positive effect on our leadership qualities. Then we'll look at a few examples from some well-known organizations or even just some local organizations on how they're embracing that positivity. Then we'll bring it all back together with a few key takeaways, and we'll save a little bit of time for some Q&A. All right, so just understanding positive thinking. So let's begin by understanding that it's more than just being upbeat or having an optimistic outlook. It's a mental attitude that focuses not only on the bright side of life, but also having an attitude that anticipates positive results. I know this is something that I've struggled with for years. I feel like I'm a very positive person, but I don't always see myself succeeding. And so really having that anticipatory of, we see ourselves and others as individuals that will succeed. That's so important. This approach encourages us to view challenges as opportunities and setbacks as stepping stones. And for leaders like yourselves, like us in the tourism industry, adopting this mindset can be incredibly impactful because it directly influences our team's morale. And that leads us to having empathy for one another, sincerity, graciousness, and a caring culture. And that leads to exemplary customer experiences and a stellar reputation. I know that for me, when I interact with a brand or an organization that I feel like genuinely cares about me, I'm definitely more apt to doing business with them in the future. So that concept of positive culture that further expands this idea because it emphasizes the creation of experiences that enrich not only the staff experience, but also the visitors experience and the relationships with all the stakeholders. It promotes that sense of well-being when somebody interacts with you. So, I mean, think about a business, organization, or brand that makes you immediately feel that they just feel like a positive group of people, or that they must care for each other. And you can put that in the chat if you want to. Always like new examples. But positive culture not only enhances the experiences, but it also fosters that sense of fulfillment and purpose among tourism professionals. And that makes it a very sustainable model for success. All right, so we're going to get a little scientific, and I am by no means a scientist, but some of the research in doing for this presentation, there's the science behind positive thinking offers compelling evidence for its benefits. Positive thinking can improve mental and physical health, enhance problem-solving skills, and increase resilience. There was a study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that individuals with a positive outlook have better immune responses, reduced risk of cardiovascular diseases, and increased lifespan. These benefits extend into the workplace where positive thinking leaders, they cultivate environments that foster teamwork, innovation, productivity, work-life balance, and an overall mindset of well-being. And in addition, the integration of positivity and psychology in tourism has shown benefits beyond what we've already discussed. For example, tourism experiences are being explored as part of non-medical or non-pharmacological treatments for ailments such as dementia, and that highlights the therapeutic potential of positive experiences. So this interdisciplinary approach supports how, by us having positive thinking, that can intersect with tourism and enhance well-being of our guests and ourselves on multiple levels. All right, so let's continue on and look a little bit at positive thinking and how that can translate into success of our business. So positive thinking can be quite the game changer in the tourism industry. We all know where the work is often challenging and sometimes feels never ending. Leaders who adopt a positive mindset can inspire their teams to deliver exceptional customer service, which we all know is so important. And that leads to higher customer satisfaction, more loyalty, and the building of a stellar team of advocates who promote your business to their network of friends and families. For instance, businesses with high employee engagement levels as a direct result of positive organizational cultures experience an increase in profitability, according to Gallup research. And positive thinking can also drive creative solutions to challenges. So it's in that belief of what's possible that results in those creative breakthroughs. And so whether it's developing a new service offering, devising a unique marketing or promotional strategy, or identifying efficient ways to streamline operations. That concept of positive culture that we've mentioned, that supports this by embedding empathy, concern, and caring for others, anticipating that success, stakeholder retention, all that into your business core strategies. And that really benefits the community, your staff, your guests, your partners, your vendors, and that can really boost economic gains because everybody's feeling good about interacting with you, and that strengthens that social fabric by fostering connections and cultural understanding. One other thought, think about the places that you have visited in the past and how the staff make you feel. Like, do you feel like they want you to be there when you walk in the door? I know where I worked for a property a while back where we were encouraged to wave to everybody on the road, whether we were coming to work or leaving work. and just trained and reminded to smile when we approached a guest. Our culture within that organization was one where the owners really strived to create that caring community. And I know that translated into our guest service. All right, so positivity among leaders, so us, and how that can translate into positivity among your employees. So enhancing employee morale, that's another critical aspect of positive thinking. When leaders model positivity, that quickly can trickle down to their teams, and that creates a supportive and collaborative environment, especially in the tourism industry, where, a lot of us, we know that we have teams of ourselves and maybe one other, maybe there's 5, 10 of us. It's a very small group. So how you act and how you treat others as a leader, it will quickly be reflected amongst the rest of the team. If employees feel valued and motivated, that's going to result in increased job satisfaction, reduced turnover rates. There was a study done by the University of Warwick that happy employees are significantly more productive, and that underscores the importance of positivity in boosting morale, performance. Another study showed that praise and appreciation were seen as equivalent, if not more valuable than a standard monetary raise. I know for me, I can categorize some of the positions that I've had in the past, and I would certainly take a small pay cut, obviously if I could still afford it, to be a part of an organization that valued me and that supported me and trusted me over one that just told me what to do and didn't seem to ever show me whether I was doing a good job or not. Improved performance, that's another benefit, as employees in a positive work environment that you establish can approach challenges with enthusiasm and resilience, and that drives higher performance levels and helps you achieve your goals more efficiently. Positive attitudes encourage open communication and collaboration among team members. I know that a lot of times, if you're new in a role and you are in a staff meeting, you don't necessarily want to speak up till you kind of understand the dynamics. But, if you're part of an organization that welcomes that, openness, that's going to result in more effective teamwork, more innovative solutions, and successful project outcomes. Adaptability, it's another one. This flexibility helps businesses navigate transitions more smoothly and maintains that competitive edge. And that positive mindset really encourages creative thinking and enhances problem-solving skills. Employees are definitely going to be more likely to tackle difficult tasks when you empower them to make those decisions. And statistics further reveal that organizations that promote positive employee interactions see a very clear improvement in retention and customer service effectiveness. If you can foster a culture that prioritizes your well-being, then you can definitely enhance your operational success, customer relations. Trusting in your employees, like I said, is just such a positive environment. That creates such a positive environment. I worked for a property, the same one that encouraged us to wave to everybody, that empowered us. Now, keep in mind, this is 15, 20 years ago, with up to $200 to make things right with our guests. So even though not every situation was perfect, it allowed our employees to feel trusted to make the right decisions for the benefit of our guests. So it could be we're making a meal, offering a beverage on the house, maybe a gift basket, depending on what the issue was at hand. For example, we had a longtime guest who would come the same week in March every year for a week to cross-country ski. And, we were an all-inclusive. And so every night after dinner, he would ask for the same thing. He wanted 3 scoops of Huckleberry ice cream. And so it was coming up on one of his big visits, maybe 10th or 15th, I can't remember. And so in his honor, we hosted a Huckleberry ice cream party and gave him endless Huckleberry ice cream. Now, it didn't cost us, the cost of the whole, tub of ice cream was maybe $50. Everybody loved it. He told everybody about it. And it was just kind of a fun example of how we, were given that empowerment to do the right thing there. All right, now we don't want to forget about taking care of ourselves. And this is something I'm guilty of, but I also know that I need to be the best or a very good version of PJ to be able to take care of my family and take care of the professional responsibilities that I have. So positive thinking can also play a pivotal role in personal well-being and our leadership. Leaders who embrace positivity are also better equipped to manage stress, make informed decisions, and lead with empathy. These leaders also have those mental capabilities to understand that every guest, every customer is different, And you just never know what may have just happened in their life to cause them grief, or that impacted them right before they come into your business. So being able to not take things personally, which I know I struggle with at times, that allows us to handle ourselves professionally while taking care of the issue to the guest satisfaction. And this mindset fosters a sense of personal fulfillment, work-life balance, and that contributes to our overall well-being. So as a result, leaders can establish deeper, more meaningful connections with their teams if they can support one another in these types of situations. And that creates an inclusive, supportive, and positive work culture that also promotes success. All right, let's look at a few positive examples. So there was a study done by the University of North Carolina, found that positive emotions expand our attention and thinking abilities, and that is crucial for creative problem solving. Another research was done that indicates tourism activities can significantly enhance cognitive function and emotional stability, providing a holistic approach to health and well-being. I know at one of the properties I worked at, we were just in the midst of all these beautiful mountains, and it never failed. Within the first 24 hours of a guest arriving at our property, they would come up to us and just say how clear their mind felt and how they were able to take a new, look into their life. And they just felt like that was so important. And I know that we hopefully can all relate to that feeling of resetting and getting out of our normal, especially being in the tourism industry. We live that every day. Another example is Google. They're known for their employee-centric approach with benefits like free meals, flexible work hours, opportunities to work on personal projects, and that promotes a positive and innovative work environment. Patagonia, another one that focuses a lot of their mission on sustainability, and that contributes to a positive company image, doing the right thing, and that attracts employees with similar values or priorities. And then personally for me, I mean, and I mentioned this, I'm sure Hessa, probably is like, I know, we were glad, but I'm always so thrilled to just be a part of Uplift. It's a culture that our leaders have established, and it is phenomenal. I mean, we are supportive, we are understanding, we care about each other. I mean, and truly, we're celebratory and innovative. And even when things maybe aren't going to scale, we come up with ways to make things better for one another. And we support each other. It's a culture that really cares about our communities. And hopefully that shows, because we do love you. So let's kind of bring it all back together here with some key takeaways. First, it does take some work, and I'm not saying it's always easy, but to cultivate a positive mindset. And if it doesn't work one day, try again the next. And start with yourself. Find ways to see the positive. Find ways to support others in being positive, and just watch how it transforms your business and your relationships and your well-being. Even if it's just a balancing act of, okay, yes, I tried it, and I need to try to balance out how I'm going to manage this particular situation. And then focus on creating a positive culture. So be intentional about telling your team that you empathize, that you care about them. And that's important to take care of oneself. So lead by example. Also empower your employees. Promote open communication and ongoing dialogue. Trust them to make good decisions for the benefit of your guests and your operation. And, I know a lot of people will say, well, I don't feel very creative. We all have a creative side. I fully believe that. You just sometimes have to find the way to become creative, or find that part of your brain to be creative. So maybe offer your team paid time to do continuing education like Uplift webinars or something similar. Establish unique opportunities to show your team that you care. I had a general manager one time. I was new in a role as director of guest relations, and I didn't want to mess anything up. So I was there all the time. I was working 70, 80 hours a week, which probably was not the best for me or for my wife. But he surprised me with a stay in Jackson Hole for a couple nights, and basically said, here, you need this. You're taking it. We've got this covered. And I just felt so appreciated and humbled myself enough to know that it was time for me to take a break. So just, not saying everybody needs to do that, but be creative in how you reward your employees and celebrate successes with one another. Give a shout out during a team meeting, or make a point to give a compliment to one person per day, or whatever makes sense to you if you're not doing it already. Be specific. Don't just tell them they're doing a great job. Tell them what they're doing a great job at. And I think that will go a long way.